Hello all. Today I'd like to engage in a bit of fantasy with a quick, unproduced video. How cool would it be if the 2016 presidential election was between Bernie Sanders and Rand Paul? Over the past 2 weeks, each of these guys has been making real headlines and real waves. Bernie Sanders, a senator from Vermont, has been attacking Hillary Clinton from the left. He's been speaking to very surprisingly large crowds, and he's been talking about the kinds of things that Democrats claim to believe in but don't actually follow. He's been talking about income inequality. He's been talking about using the federal government to actually try and bring people out of poverty. Not really my cup of tea, but you have to admire his commitment. You have to admire the fact that he's actually getting up there and talking about these things. Rand Paul, on the other hand, has been working in the Senate to fight the U.S. surveillance state. He's been valiantly fighting against the renewal of the Patriot Act. He's going to fail, but in the process, he's making everybody angry, especially the members of his own party. The Republican establishment really hates him right now. So Bernie Sanders is running for the Democratic nomination, and Rand Paul is running for the Republican nomination. The conventional wisdom seems to be that these guys just don't have a chance. Unfortunately, I think there's probably some truth to that. They actually agree on a lot of things that the entire Washington, D.C. establishment just loathes with every fiber of their being. They both want to work on mass incarceration. They both want to cut down the military-industrial complex, and there's just no way that these guys are going to make it through the primaries. Can you imagine how incredibly cool it would be if Bernie Sanders ran against Rand Paul, if that was what we focused on until November 2016? It would be extraordinary. It would be a real conversation. Bernie Sanders describes himself as a democratic socialist. He really does believe that the government can and should be helping people more. Rand Paul is as libertarian as you can actually be in the Republican Party, in the modern Republican Party. Libertarian in the United States sense means anti-government, basically, that the government should be as small as possible. Most Republicans claim to believe in that, but in practice they absolutely don't. So to have these two guys debating, running around the country, putting forward two actually opposed ideas of what this country should be, what this country can be, it would be extraordinary. It would be a debate actually worth listening to. It would be a campaign actually worth following. We'd actually learn things. We'd learn more about the United States and the differing views of how it should operate in the world. It would be amazing. It's not going to happen. Once Bernie and Rand are gone, the 2016 process is going to be pretty typical and pretty boring. It's going to come down to who says the stupidest things, who does the best job getting out ahead of any scandals that exist in their past political career. It's not going to discuss anything, and it's not going to accomplish anything because Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton are essentially indistinguishable. They definitely have separate marketing ideas. Clinton's going to aim a little bit leftish, and Bush is going to aim a little bit right-ish, but it's not going to come down to any real differences. That's what we're going to have in 2016. But it doesn't have to be what we have in 2020. We can change the Democratic and Republican parties, but in order to do that, we have to scare them. And the only way to scare a politician is to hit them where it hurts, in the ballot box. The dynastic nightmare of a Hillary Clinton versus Jeb Bush candidacy actually provides a great opportunity. Nobody wants these people to be president. Why don't we use our vote to scare them? If you're more left-leaning, why don't you vote for the Green Party? If you're like me and more libertarian-leaning, why don't you vote for the Libertarian Party? Neither of these parties will win. That's just not going to happen. But if we scare them, the Democrats and the Republicans will change. In 2020, they might actually have to field candidates that have a discernible difference. They might actually have to address the real issues that face us as a country. This video is talking about a fantasy. Bernie Sanders and Rand Paul will not end up being the nominees of their respective parties. But in 2020, we could have better options. The only way to do that is to throw away your vote. I've written an essay for the Amazon Kindle on pretty much this topic. be grateful if you checked it out. Other than that, I guess that's about all for me today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you'd like to help me make more videos like this one, please click on the Patreon link here to find out how. Or actually, not more videos like this one. I usually put a lot more effort into them. Thanks.